This week our heroes give the review on Alexander Hamilton. Hamilton. Well, listen more of this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. Going to Broadway. Welcome to this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. We're good for your ears. I'm Dan. You can find me everywhere at RFS Dan.
And I'm Jess, and you can find me everywhere at Gone to the Snow Dogs and Snow Dogs Vlogs.
I feel like I sound a little raspy today. Maybe it's from all that 4th of July smoke. Maybe I'm yelling. Do I sound like I'm yelling from my ears radiating?
I mean, maybe a little. Maybe a small amount.
Jess, as you know, and as everybody in the world knows, because the video's been floating around, the sky was daytime on 4th of July. We'll get to my crazy adventure at the end, but how was your 4th of July?
It was good. It was interesting. The day before 4th of July, we went out to my aunt's cottage, and her neighbor bought literally hundreds of dollars, probably thousands of dollars, in fireworks and shot them off on his dock. So we were right underneath them. So we went out there and experienced that. And then on 4th of July, we kind of just chilled out around here. There was no parade. They had canceled all that stuff. But we ended up pretty close to, 9 o'clock at night. We decided, let's go downtown and watch the fireworks. So we took the dogs and we went and watched the fireworks. We watched them from about a mile from where they're actually shot off. So it's not like we're right underneath them with the dogs. That would just be stupid. But my dogs are not affected by fireworks. They could have cared less. I got some really cool photos of them with the fireworks behind them. Even when Dr. Courier shot his off, which are more consumer grade fireworks, but they're still loud and big and pretty. Kind of like what we were shooting off out at Greg's. We were much closer to that, and the dogs could have cared less. They were watching and they were looking and they were happy to see the people. So we had a pretty chill day, and then we went down there with the dogs and walked around, and it was fun. It was fun.
You were talking about how they weren't going to do the parade or the fireworks, and they did the fireworks?
So they canceled the parade. Our parade is put on by a local business in town, not by the city or the chamber. It used to be held by the Chamber of Commerce, but they decided they didn't want to do it anymore, and another business took it over, and that business took it upon themselves to just cancel it, which is fine. The fireworks, on the other hand, are put on by the Chamber of Commerce, and there was a point where they were saying no fireworks, we're not doing them, and then they had 2 weeks left before they had to put in their order of whether or not we were going to have a show. Because we have a company that comes in and brings the fireworks and sets a professional that comes in and does all this. They just put it out on the internet that they had 2 weeks to raise at least, I think it was $21,000 was the minimum goal. And if they could raise the money, they would put on the show. And if they couldn't raise the money, they were going to take that money and put it towards next year's show. And one of our local businesses, I believe it was Lafarge, donated $12,000 to the cause. And then they had a drive-through fundraiser where you could drive through and donate, and they did a couple other things. They had a couple online things, and they managed to raise the money before the deadline. So we still had a fireworks show. Our little tiny community came together and made it happen.
That's good. The ones you were watching when you were at the lake and they were across the way, those are the ones from the night before?
Yeah, those were the ones that were out at my aunt's cottage.
Oh, okay. They look pretty. You have a nice open view.
Yeah, that was really cool. Well, the ones, I sent pictures of the big ones on the lake. We also watched the ones in town over the lake, so there was 2 different the ones where I got the photos and you could see the reflection of the fireworks in the lake, that was our fireworks show in town here.
Yeah.
So that was way across the bay. We sat on the opposite side of the bay from where they're shot off.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Was there more than normal? Because, obviously it was chaos here in California, but was it more than normal there?
For people shooting off their own, I would see fireworks have been legal here for the past couple of years, so it's hard for me to gauge whether or not it was more than normal. I feel like the day before, the day of, and the day after, I'm pretty used to hearing fireworks now, because again, they've been legal the past couple of years. Maybe there was more than normal. I wish, now of course hindsight's 2020, I wish we would have put the drone up to see what was going on for the Friday before 4th of July. Even when we got back from the lake in town, you could just hear them everywhere. And I didn't even think about that. We could have put our drone up and we could have seen what was going on, and we didn't. So
yeah, I know what you mean. I was begging for a drone. That was the one thing I was sitting there going like, wow, if I could have anything right now, it would be a drone just to see what was going on in the sky, because it was that crazy.
Right?
Well, it sounds like you had a good 4th of July.
We did. How about you?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So obviously fireworks are legal in the state of California. We have safe and sane, I did air quote, fireworks. Those are legal in Palmdale. So Palmdale and Lancaster, our town, is pretty much one town. That would be like between here and the deli to be in a split and it's called another town. Like, it's still going to feel like one town. So out, where the bike shop was is the line. So on the one side of the line, there's fireworks stands. On the other side of the line, there's not. And it's safe and sane TNT fireworks. You can get some sparklers that suck, and you can get Piccolo Pete's. Oh my gosh, they push those Piccolo Pete's. So it's like that style. Nothing goes in the air. Nothing leaves the ground. Everything's planted. So you can have those, right? I don't know. Like, those weren't even on my radar at all. So I was out in Palmdale. That's where Crystal's mom lives. She lives out in Palmdale, and we're standing there, and there was whatever, like 5-6 people there hanging out, and she's like, "Dan, you want to go get some fireworks?" And I'm like, "No, I do not. I do not want anything that is sold out here in California. I am jaded. It's just not going to feel right." And I've listened to it pop off here for the last 2 weeks. We don't need fireworks, so it starts. I don't know. It's like 3 p.m. And I'm sitting in the backyard. I've had some beers. I'm laying there making rib videos and videos about butterflies chasing each other. You guys can go see that on my Instagram if you like. And I'm laying there, and then people are shooting up the mortars, but they're not the ones that spread out color. They're the ones that just make the loud boom.
Right.
And it was scaring the crap out of all of us to the point where we were cussing and swearing. It was popping right over our head. I don't know what they are, but they're just explosions. I felt like I was at war. I didn't like that. But as soon as it started getting dark, holy cow, I have never seen more fireworks in my life go off at once. I climbed on the roof of the house. I have lots of video to post, but there's those videos that are being passed around to the helicopters down in LA, and you could just see millions of dollars. Now that I know how much fireworks cost, it was just millions and millions and millions of dollars. It was stimulus money. It was everything. It was madness. It was all around us. You could hear it raining down everywhere because, the stuff falls. And it was lit up everywhere you looked. It was illegal fireworks everywhere. It was the craziest, most beautiful and scary thing that I've ever seen in my life. I'm on the top of the house, and Terry's up there with me. And we're looking around. I look back over my shoulder, and they're blowing up. Like, it feels like they're on top of us. Like, and they're blowing up, and it's really disorienting. Loud noises are really disorienting. No wonder they have, like, flash grenades and stuff, right? So they're boom, 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 boom. The dogs are okay in the house. Right. There's some dogs, and they're in the back bedroom with, I don't know, it was bad music. It was some Sammy Hagar or some junk like that. And so whenever I'd go back there and peek on them, they're all tail wagging and stuff, so I don't think they were hearing it. But it was a war zone, and it was the most, I will never see another fireworks display again. Everybody's stuck in their house for months. Everybody's blowing off steam out there. It doesn't matter what your opinion on everything was. Everybody was letting the world know in my county, everywhere. It wasn't just at it wasn't just at the house in Palmdale. It was everywhere, and I've just never seen it.
It was literally everywhere. Like you said, I saw the videos that you sent, and then I saw the videos of the drone shots from LA.
Right.
But there was way more like that was happening in cities across America.
Yes.
Like,
it was a statement.
People were like, wow, we're stuck in our house. Let's blow things up.
It was a total statement. I have never with my eyes seen a statement like that. It was crazy.
It was a beautiful display, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I watched that for hours. It didn't stop. It was hours and hours and hours, and I had my fill, and I made videos. I'll post some videos. I'll put, because no one really wants to see fireworks videos, I mean, kind of, sort of. It just depends. Some people hate the noise.
I was going to say, you think that, and every year I go through that, but then I'll post like a photo, and I have people that are always asking, are you going to post the display you saw? Because over the years of vlogging, I have found there are a lot of people that are either stuck at home with their pets, or they're stuck at home because they just can't go, and they really do appreciate being able to experience it. That's one of the things I've learned through vlogging is people like to watch that stuff because they can't necessarily experience it on their own. So there are some people that will very much appreciate your firework videos. Mine have not gone up yet. Mine go up like tomorrow and the next day.
Right.
Mine will be a little delayed.
Mine aren't impressive like yours as far as like you have that beautiful lake and then you have that big burst. Mine is just me on the roof holding on with one hand because it's a very steep roof. And just a minute video of me 360ing around and never, not once, not catching a firework in frame. It was just, it was chaotic. The streets had that haze. And when I was on the roof, I could see down multiple streets and it's just haze everywhere. It's just haze, right? And they're illegal there. So up this other side street, I could see all the cops were sitting there and all the fire trucks were sitting there waiting to roll out. And then they go rolling out. And, you know, I did read that that Long Beach County, which is huge, they only gave 18 citations. So they just weren't giving out. I mean, you could have, I watched 1,000 citations that could have been written. Like, but, you know, how do you catch the people? I don't know how you catch the people.
You can't catch everybody, and you can't, I mean, I think there's a point. You can catch
more than 18.
You can catch more than 18, but I think, like, when it comes to 4th of July and stuff, I think they just get to a point where they're like, okay, if you didn't set anything on fire, if you didn't, you know, you didn't hurt anybody, fine, whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, I just think they couldn't keep up with it this year. But, I mean, they're shooting mortars off that are barely going above the houses, and I can hear them landing on the houses and stuff like that. And I was insanely concerned because it's about 20 minutes away from here to where Patty's house is, and the cats are here. The cats have not been having that good of a good of a time. You know, Rizzo's been going through this phase lately where if I open up a 2-liter of soda, pop Jess, I don't want to confuse you. If I open up a 2-liter of pop, she goes tearing off around the house. Even if she's not around, she'll just tear off. Yep. All of a sudden, she just hates the of pop.
Huh.
Yeah, right. So she's like unhappy about all these bangings and stuff. And I have hardwood floors, so when the cats scatter, like one will scare the other and it sets off a chain reaction. It's so funny. You can't not laugh when they're just peeling out on the hardwood floor, running for a second, and then they stop. So I was scared. So when I left on the Popcorn app, I think it's called, Pluto app. It was a Pluto app on my television. I was finding music for them, and I found a Snoop Dogg station. So it was kind of bassy and bumpy. So I bumped this loud Snoop Dogg station and left, and I was concerned the whole time. When it got really, really bad, I was super concerned. Like, oh, man, the poor cat's at home, right?
Right.
So I don't want to jump too ahead of the story. Oh, what else happened at the barbecue? Oh my gosh, I ate so much barbecue. Blah 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 blah. I made an Edwards. I don't know if how do you see the Patreon posts if you don't pay for Patreon but you own half the Patreon? I guess you could log in.
I can log in.
Yeah, but I was out there gardening for a little bit, and I had these Edward Scissorhand scissors, and I was Edward Scissorhanding, and it was pretty funny. It's on our Patreon if you want to see it. It was super funny.
I haven't seen that one.
I didn't show it to you because I saved it for the Patreon. So I was doing that stuff before it got dark. Blah blah blah. Then all the fireworks. Okay, so it's time to go home. I'm like, okay, I'm all fireworked out. I smell like a campfire from being on the roof.
Best.
Yes, I love that smell. And I had to remove myself from the roof because I know the probability. It's like, all right, I'm up here, nothing fell on me for like 2 hours. I should get down because it's time. I'm due.
Because you're gonna get hit in the eye.
I'm due to have stuff rain down on me. So I get down, I get in the car, I leave, I start coming home, and then right up the street from my house, I sent you that video of the palm tree, the huge palm tree that's in this guy's yard, and it's just on fire.
Yes.
That was like a block from my house. It's on fire. But as I left Palmdale to head to Lancaster, I could see it's a big dark road because there's an Air Force base on the right side. I could see that there was some fireworks popping off, but it was nothing like it was in Palmdale. So I sent you that video, and I guess I can post that video up on the podcast page of somebody lit off something and it burnt down a palm tree. And the palm tree was just glowing on fire. It was so crazy. So I get home. I'm ready to come home to cats that have just stressed themselves out to the max. And I open the door and I come in, I shut the door and I look around and they seemed half unfazed. You know, they were all out. None of them were hiding in the corners. None of them were hiding in the closet. The kitten was walking around. Tails was like, hey, what's up? And the music was loud in the house. And I left it on for a little bit because I could hear some popping. But they did not have the meltdown that they would have if they were in Palmdale.
Right.
And so I felt like I escaped. Like the cats were okay.
Right.
They're still lighting them off though. It's Tuesday. They're still going for it.
We had some going off last night. I was sitting here working and I could hear the neighbor, I think, was shooting them off. But they're legal to shoot off in the county, in the township where I live. You can shoot them off all year round. So I have a feeling this weekend there will probably be more around here.
Yeah.
Since it's supposed to be nice again.
I'm not sure where it's going to end. But in our town here, if you're caught with anything, because I can see the cops in Palmdale having a little bit of a hard time. Well, I don't know. I was watching the neighbors up the street, and they left their mortar like tubes out in the street the whole time. But, you know, you go out there with an illegal firework, you light it off. You light some illegal fireworks. You move the illegal fireworks in the house, so when they go up and down the street and they see you with a legal firework, they're good. In Lancaster here, just a few minutes away, you can't if they hear you pull down a strike on a lighter, they're gonna come write you a ticket. So I don't know how they're getting away with it more here in this town. And we have this little helicopter that the mayor, oh my gosh, our mayor, I'll tell you about him in a second here. Our mayor flies around. It's like a little small, like, personal copter, and then they bust people off. They were also putting sound wave detectors on top of the light poles so they could hear this is how bad our town is, Jess, so they could hear where the gunshots are being pinpointed at.
That is so ridiculous.
Right. So they shut down the public fireworks. There was none at our Jethawk Stadium. There was none at our fairgrounds. And our mayor said that he was going to go ahead and do it. It doesn't matter if he gets arrested. So everybody was curious if they were going to put on this display at the soccer park that's like 5 minutes away from here. So I only saw a news station that somebody tagged me in where the guy was sitting here next to the mayor who was about to light off this fireworks show. So I have no idea how big his show was going to be, but the mayor was going for it anyway. That's what he wanted to get arrested for freaking fireworks. That's what he was standing up for. That's what was on his mind right now. No, don't worry about any of the other problems or any of the other things in our town. He was going to go to jail over whether they were going to light fireworks off or not. So I don't know. I only saw the Twitter of the guy that's from the radio station out here that he was sitting next to the mayor while he was going to interview him while they were doing fireworks. But yeah, I guess our mayor decided that he was going to have a fireworks show, and I quote, hell or high water, which I don't even know what that means, but okay. So anyway, so I guess he did that. So it was, I guess it was fireworks for everybody.
Fireworks for all.
It was fireworks for all. It was so crazy. But it will definitely be a 4th of July that I will never, ever forget in my life, that I will tell everybody about the year that we were stuck inside of a pandemic and the whole world had to blow off steam, no matter how they felt, via loud popping noises. And oh my gosh, some of these things are beautiful.
I know they sold a lot of fireworks out of the yellow box fireworks up here. Like, they had 3 trailers sitting at the one location. What was it? The day before 4th of July. They had 3 of those trailers sitting there. So I think it was a good year for selling fireworks.
Yeah, I think Ashley's happy.
Yeah, I think somebody made some money. I haven't talked to her yet. I haven't had a chance, but I wanted to message her and be like, you did good, right?
Yes. The unpopular opinion part of me that I'm going to tell you about right now is the part where on Black Friday, all I do is Google Black Friday videos to see the chaos. Every year, I need to see the chaos. I do it for 4th of July, where I Google 4th of July and I sort by latest videos on YouTube just to see the craziness. You remember bootleg fireworks? Those days, bootleg fireworks. That was 4 or 5 years ago. I remember coming home and watching it right when it came out and being the most excited I ever was because that was the greatest video ever. So every year I chase the fireworks dragon and I'm looking. And this year, the only thing that I saw that was eye-catching, and it was sad, and I'm sorry, people, somebody's yellow box caught on fire.
Yeah.
Did you see that video? And it was just going up, boom, 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 blah, 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 boom, 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 and yeah. So I thought that was a crazy video, and I'm like, the guy's car is sitting right next to it. I'm like, move your car, dude. It's gonna smell like smoke forever.
Did you watch Mr. Beast's firework video?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. What was it? Like a $600,000 firework he shot off?
I have to say the $10,000 firework that he did, I think, was better than all of them.
That was so crazy.
The last one that they did, that was like the $160,000 firework or whatever, just looked like a big flash. But the one they did before that, which was like, what was it, 40,000 and the 10,000, those were both pretty good. Like, those were good shows. Yes. At what point does the firework become a bomb? Right? Because that thing was a bomb. And like he said, like, you could not feel what they were feeling when that thing exploded. Yeah. I imagine. I could feel it. It was rumbling. When I was on the roof, all those things were rumbling through me. Oh, by the way, it was, and I know people. I know sound waves. It was so much quieter on the roof watching it. When I got down off the roof and I was in this little cove area in the front of the house where, the lawn chairs go and stuff. Right. It was bouncing around. It was 2.5 times louder down there. And it was way bassier and it was way more just vibrating around. So it was more violent sounding down on the ground than it was up on the roof. That's so crazy.
Yes, but yes, Mr. Beast, that was a good video from him. That was a good video.
Yeah.
That was,
I enjoyed
crazy.
that.
Yeah.
I really did. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed watching him be like, we're going to light this firework was $10. This firework was $12. I'm like,
he built it up.
This is fun.
Yeah,
like this is fun.
And then it turned to daytime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you start getting to electrical buttons to set off fireworks. It's daytime. Yes, I did see his firework video. I thought that was pretty cool. A couple other people try to do big firework videos as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but his definitely took the cake. I'll link that. I'll link that too inside the show notes. So yeah, 4th of July madness. That's what I have over here. 4th of July madness. Our mayor went for it. That was my notes for 4th of July. But don't worry. I know the cats were not happy, but they weren't any more happy or unhappy than any of the other years. And so I got off well. Thank you, Snoop Dogg Radio. Yeah, for that. So what else do I have? So I got this ring light, Jess.
I know.
I got this ring light, and it's got a remote control to it.
It does.
So that means there's frequencies going to this ring light. And I think my ring light's possessed because the last few days I've been waking up to the ring light being on.
It keeps turning on.
It keeps
just
on
all by
turning
itself?
on all by itself. I could go in and pull the master power out of there, but like just to turn it off with the remote control and stuff, something's happening. Some sort of frequency, somebody's garage door opener keeps turning on my ring light.
Somebody's controlling your ring light.
It is. It's the new Rain movie, the Serene reboot. But this time it's a light.
I have one of those tap lights that doesn't have a switch, but you touch the metal on it or whatever, and it turns the light on.
Oh, like a lamp from the 80s?
Like a lamp. Yeah, like a lamp from the 80s, only it's not from the 80s. But you touch it and it turns on, and it's in my bedroom. If I plug in my phone, like the actual power plug the phone into the wall and unplug it, it turns the light on and off.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's some witchery. Yeah, so we'll have to see what happens. My goal is to toggle every controller that I have in this whole house until I figure out what's turning it on. I'm gonna sleep under it. I think maybe tonight I'm gonna sleep under it, and when it turns on in my face, I'm gonna figure out what happened.
Just set up a camera. It's the cats. Your cats are secretly like TikToking without you knowing.
Oh my gosh! Yes, that would be rad.
That's totally what it is.
That would be rad.
I immediately think of like Toy Story, but with your cats.
Right, TikTok story or Instagram story. Either way, please, cats, please, because they breed in the numbers without even trying. Speaking of breeding in the TikTok numbers, I wasn't going to bring up TikTok because I know you're feisty on this subject. But over 500,000 subscribers on TikTok. Stop hitting milestones.
Oh my gosh, right?
Good job, Jess.
All the milestones at one time. And like I said, I don't know what's going on, but we're recording this on Tuesday, and I hit 500,000 yesterday, and then as of right now, I've got almost 520,000. So it's been like I gained 21,000 followers on TikTok in less than 24 hours from the time I told you till the time we're recording this. So let's see what it's at by the time this goes up live.
Okay, yeah, that's crazy. Good job though, Jess. In an app that has nothing to do with your demographic, you've broken barriers.
It's so It's so mind blowing.
Yeah.
But the dogs and like I said, I know I've said this many times before. When it comes to TikTok, my favorite thing about it is I don't put that massive like pre-planning effort into it. I try to share more real. Like there's pet accounts on there that are very like structured and they do every trend and they try to make their dogs do the performing things and blah blah blah. And I've done a handful of those, but my TikToks that perform the best are literally when I'm like pull the camera out, talk to the dogs like I do when nobody's around, because I do that, and just make a short little video. Those always do the best. So I like that it gives me that freedom of expression without having to be backed into a corner and forced to create in a certain way.
Yeah, when we were hanging out at VidCon, just seemed like yesterday. You were so stoked because your TikTok was just for you to have fun. Because all this stuff turns into work, everybody. It does. At some point, it turns into work and expectations. And that was just your fun. And now that you're at 500,000 plus subscribers, is it starting to slowly be more strategic and less fun?
No, I still use it for fun. I still because my TikTok was growing really fast and then it kind of slowed down and I didn't change what I was doing. Like I knew what I needed to do to ramp the growth back up, but there was the part of me that was like, no, I don't want to be backed into this creativity corner. I want to be able to just have fun with it and do what I want and make the cute little videos that I want to make. So again, I probably could have grown it faster, just like every one of my apps that there's always something better or something different or some other route I could take. But with TikTok, I was just like, I really have a lot of fun with this and I just want to have fun with it. And apparently it works. I don't know. But no, it's still a lot of fun. I don't stress out over TikTok. Like, and realistically, I mean, like, there's stress that comes with work and what I do is work, but I don't stress out over TikTok. I just have fun with it. Like, if I don't get a TikTok video up today, oh well. Like, I don't feel like I'm always like, oh my God, I got to do this and I have to do that and I have to, when it comes to TikTok, I'm just like, oh, this was cute. I'm going to film it. If it turns out cute, I'll upload it. I do have a country music singer that reached out to me. He has like 1.4 million followers on TikTok, and he asked me to use one of his songs in one of my videos. So I do actually have like a pre-planned video that I want to make for him because I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I've been following him since he's had like maybe 30,000 subscribers. So I've watched him like ramp up and blow up on this platform. So it's kind of cool that like he's also been following me for a long time. So it's kind of cool that we kind of had that connection before he started to grow, and now he's like, hey, you should use one of my songs.
Yeah,
like,
that'd be fun.
Do that.
Yeah, that'd be a fun
like
thing
a little
to do.
collab.
Right. Yeah, that would be good. Well, congratulations on your TikTok success and all your fun that you're having on there. That's really good. That's a lot. That is a lot.
It's fun. I'm telling you, you should get on TikTok.
It's still uninstalled. So Jess, I wrote something down here that you and I were talking about, and I don't know if anybody else knew about it. So we'll see if this we'll see if this makes it to the podcast or not. But so last week you showed me this picture, and we couldn't figure out if you had poison ivy on your legs or not.
Right.
And we were concerned about that. Did it ever turn out to be poison ivy?
I don't know. I still don't actually know what it is.
Once you get it once, don't you get like the antibodies and it never happens again?
God, no. Actually, the more you get it, the worse it can get. And the older you get, the worse it can get. So, there's all those perks when it comes to poison ivy. I don't know if it was poison ivy. I still have a rash, but it's not what my poison ivy normally turns out to be. I should send you a picture of the arsenal of poison ivy stuff that I bought from Amazon that got delivered yesterday because apparently they couldn't deliver it last week. I literally bought 5 or 6 different things that I don't have currently and I normally have on hand because I was freaking out. I'm like, I need all this stuff and I don't have it and I can't get it locally. But I still have I have a lot of issues when it comes to what do they call it? Contact dermatitis. I have very sensitive skin. So there's a lot of different things that I touch it or I rub up against it and all of a sudden I have a rash. And it's like, what did that come from? I don't know. I thought this was poison ivy because I took the dogs for a walk and I know where I walked there was poison ivy. I didn't touch it. I made sure the dogs were away from it. But when I got home and then it was the next day and then I saw this, Jamie goes, you just need to be near it and breathe and you're going to die. I'm like, I hope that's not what it is, but it felt like it. It looked like it. But now we think it might have just been a different type of something growing in the grass that apparently my skin just doesn't like.
Just itchy stuff because you are very concerned about poison ivy. Anytime we're anywhere, you are always, even in the grocery store, you're like, watch out. Watch out. Leaves of 3. Right. So you're very concerned about it, especially with the pups too. So I get that. But when I saw the picture, it looked like poison ivy.
Yeah, it looked like poison ivy, but it never got worse than that. If that makes sense. Normally when you get poison ivy, it rashes and then the rash gets worse and then it's the oozy nastiness, which nobody wants to hear about that, but that's what it does. My problem is when I've had poison ivy in the past, I'll get it and it starts out in that one little area, so then you're Dawn dish soap or you use a special poison ivy wash that'll make sure you wash all the oils off. So you're making sure you wash everything, whatever you were wearing, burn it. If I thought the dogs were near it, Jamie has to give the dogs a bath or whatever. But the last time I had it on my wrist, on the inside of my wrist. And it pretty much went from the inside of my wrist all the way down to my elbow. And it got so bad, I ended up having to go to the doctor. and I had to get steroid shots. I got a steroid shot plus like I think it was like a week later they gave me steroids and this like steroid cream. It was so bad. And I had it for like 6 weeks. It just would not go away. It was bad. It was really, the one time I had it almost all summer. It just would not go away. And then we kept thinking, well, it's got to be somewhere where I'm touching something and something touched it and that stupid oil is there and I just keep giving it back to myself.
Yeah. We've talked about it before in a podcast last year about how that's like... Yeah. Poison ivy doesn't get enough respect. If you burn it on accident and you breathe it in, it'll get you.
Oh, yeah. I have actually thrown, like, comforters away from the camper when I've gotten poison ivy and I know that it's in there. I'm like, nope, all the sheets and everything I'm just throwing them away. I don't care.
Yep.
They're going in the trash.
I learned about poison ivy at the bike shop and how destructive it can be and how it's just on everything. It's on everything. If you think germ spread, oh my gosh, that stuff's on everything. You got to, like, burn your socks. And did you throw your socks out? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, I did. I threw my socks out. I did. I did. 100%. And then I washed my shoes in Dawn dish soap. I filled up a bucket of hot water and a whole bunch of Dawn dish soap, and I dropped my shoes in the bucket. And I told Jamie, I'm like, I'm not gonna touch those, but could you wash my shoes for me? Because like that's the precautions I have to take, because it can get bad. My mom got poison sumac one. Was it poison oak or poison sumac? They're all kind of the same, and if you're allergic to one, there's a good chance you're allergic to the rest of them. Jamie's not allergic to poison ivy at all. He could chew on it, he can walk through it, he can breathe it in, he can roll around naked in it, and guess what? He's not going to get poison ivy. But if I get near him, I'm going to get poison ivy. So whenever we're hiking with the dogs and stuff, I'm always like, stay on the trail. Keep them away from the poison ivy. Keep them close to you. What are you doing?
You were keeping me on the trail. You're like, get over here. What are you doing over there? I'm like, I'm just trying to adventure in the bushes. You're like, no. Get over here.
But my mom got it once, and like she got it so bad, she had huge hives and a rash, and same thing. She ended up she passed out. She had to go to the hospital. Like, it was bad. It can get you, and it can be really bad, and it's not fun, and I don't advise it to anybody. But I still love the outdoors, and I'm not afraid of going outside. It's just something that I pay very close attention to. Yes. But it doesn't keep me from going outside. It just keeps me. I just know what I have to do if I've been near it. The other thing is like, if you get the oil on you, a lot of people will make the mistake. They'll be like, oh no, I got near poison ivy. Quick, I'll go wash it off. And they go take a warm shower, which is the absolute worst possible thing you can do if you've got poison ivy oil on you. Because the warm water, the warm water opens up your pores. And water and oil don't mix. And it's oil. So you're not washing the oil off you. You're spreading it everywhere and you're opening up your pores. So you're literally just taking that oil and just rubbing it all over the place.
Yes.
You're supposed to use cold water, ice cold water, and Dawn dish soap. I use commercial grade Dawn dish soap. So commercial grade Dawn dish soap, or there is actually poison ivy wash that you can buy. But Dawn dish soap works really great. Makes your skin feel gross. Like, I don't like the way it makes you feel afterwards, but it has been a lifesaver for me. So there's your poison ivy PSA for the week.
Yes. Well, I'm glad you don't have it, or you do, and it's slowly mutating inside you to turn you into a superhero.
It still could possibly be poison ivy, but because I caught it so quick, and because I literally like washed everything in Dawn dish soap, I might just have washed away the oils, and it didn't spread any further than it was, and it's still only really on my foot and my ankle. So I don't know.
So before we head on to the next topic, I just want to remind everybody that Dantix will be on Saturdays now. Saturday. People were a little bit confused when I put out the memo. They're like, you said Saturday in your notes, and this should be Friday. So this Saturday at 6 o'clock, and yes, it's at 6 o'clock, so I don't melt. There'll be a new episode of Dantix. It'll actually be 90s night.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yes, brush up on your Nickelodeon trivia, on your cat dog trivia, on your Matrix trivia. I was going through some of the questions last night that are 90s specific, and they're pretty dang 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tune in, be there. Tickets are for the whole seat, but you only need the edge. So youtube.com/RFSDan. Is that how we do plugs here? If you guys want to come hang out and answer some trivia questions this Saturday, you guys know the drill.
Yeah, they should by now.
I did see a pretty funny headline, and I don't really have much to go on by this, but food apps are starting to swallow each other up now. It looks like Uber bought Postmates yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Do you think these food apps and stuff, now that everybody's stuck at home and everybody's about to be stuck back at home, because we're about to be put back indoors. I was at Target Sunday and they started doing that thing I haven't seen in a while where they have the white eraser board out there and it's like out of toilet paper, out of disinfectant wipes, and they were out of something else. I don't know, Beanie Babies. I don't remember. But there wasn't very much stuff stocked in there. The toy aisle was pretty empty. The food aisle was empty. The toilet paper and the napkins and stuff like that are starting to run out again because of threats of what's being put back inside. Do you think these food apps are just thriving? Because I know the supermarkets are.
Yeah, I think they are. I think a lot of the food apps are thriving, and so there's good things and bad things about it, because the restaurants have to pay service fees to this and things like that. So to be on the apps, you have to pay these service fees. So they get a little bit less when they sell the food through the apps, like versus if they have their own apps, or versus if you just call them directly and pick up or get delivery. So, yeah, I think they're definitely making bank right now. I think they're doing really, really well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I used it once this weekend. I used it.
None of them are available here, so I have to use all the.
It's fun.
Local. Whenever we go places, I try to use the local ones anyway. But it's just so much easier when you're traveling and you're like in a bigger city and you're like, oh well, I need food and I don't know what I want. And I don't know anything around here, so you get on the food apps and you find out what's there. It just makes it easier. Yes.
So right now, what can you get delivered to your house? Just pizza?
Nope. The deli delivers. Jimmy John's won't deliver to my house, but Jimmy John's is disgusting anyway. JJ's delivers here. Mango's, the Mexican restaurant, delivers.
Okay, so you can get a few things.
Yep, Chinese delivers.
I'm telling you, Jess, there's nothing better than the feeling of getting pancakes delivered to your house. Have you ever had pancakes delivered to your house?
No, but Big Boy delivers, so I could get pancakes delivered to my house because Big Boy now delivers. Yeah,
there's very few things before all these drive apps that you could get delivered to your house. So it's interesting when they bring you stuff, or it's interesting during Dantics when somebody will send me alcohol. And they just show up with alcohol. They're like, we just need to see an ID. And I flash an ID and they hand me alcohol. I'm like, what is this? What is this? So, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, so the food apps are starting to swallow each other up. I don't have any more details on how much they paid, and I don't think the article did either. But but I thought that was interesting that Postmates is already done and gone. They were pretty big in the game, too.
Yeah.
And now they're out.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, if somebody else offers them enough money and they can sell it, and now it just makes Uber Eats or whatever. That's what you said, right? Uber Eats?
No, it was Postmates.
Postmates got bought by
Uber.
By Uber.
Yeah, so they'll probably just absorb into their Uber Eats, which I have not tried Uber Eats yet, so I don't know. I have not tried Uber Eats. I've tried Dash or DoorDash, and I think that's it.
Grubhub.
Oh, maybe Grubhub. Yeah, maybe Grubhub. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting that they're so slowly swallowing each other up during the height of all this,
Yeah. Did you hear that there's a national coin shortage as well?
Oh, yeah, and I don't know what that means, because every time I read something about it, it's somebody's agenda talking about how they just want to shorten us all coins, so we have to use credit cards so they can control our money and seize it. And that's as far as I got into it, because I'm just like, I don't get it. But, you mean pennies, dimes, nickels, dollars?
Yeah, I guess there's a coin shortage because a lot of people aren't turning their coins and stuff in, but besides all of that rambly stuff, the reason that I thought it was interesting was, and this is where it falls back, where, I own a small business, my family owns a small business, when you're on that side of the stuff, you kind of, when you're on that side of the coin.
Oh my gosh. Yes, Jess, everybody. Yes, everybody.
You kind of know how, the back end of all this stuff works, and I actually had a friend of mine post the other day about how much money he lost because of credit card fees. Because people are choosing to use their credit cards and their debit cards instead of cash, which is why they say there's a coin shortage or whatever. But the reality of it is people are using their credit cards more because they don't want to touch money or for whatever reason, which is all fine and dandy, except on the back end of this, these small businesses have to pay fees for that. It's not free. You don't just get to use a credit card for free.
Oh, exactly. Yes, yes. It's I think it was 2.3% to swipe a credit card, and even double that if you discover, where your cashback match, baby. You know where those cashback match percentages come from? My bottom dollar.
Yeah. So I had a friend of mine who posted year over year what he paid in credit card fees last year versus what he's paying in credit card fees this year because so many more people are using credit cards. It's real. Like, it's crazy. It was something like when the coin shortage thing kind of came up, I read all the same stuff like you did, and I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. And then that kind of went to the credit card stuff. I started thinking more people are using credit cards. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then when he posted this the other day about how much more money he's spending, I'm like, that's one more hit to the small business. Like, credit card companies are making bank, though. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah. And I don't know much about this stuff, but I do know that, I have not touched paper money in ages. So
me neither.
I don't know how there's a coin shortage, because even at the restaurants and stuff like that, the sign's like, if you could please use a credit card or some sort of Apple Pay that you're not touching anything, please do. So I've done nothing but put everything on cards. I haven't done anything with cash. So I don't know why there's or how there's a shortage.
I think it's because, like you said, not a lot of people are using it. And I know that the Coinstar banks and stuff like that, most of them have been pulled. They're not being used. So I have a couple of jars of coins that anytime the very few times that I do use cash and I get change back, I always throw the change in a jar. And I think a lot of people do that. And now that they can't turn it in because the coin machines are down, they're just holding on to it.
That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem like enough.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. You would be surprised. Again, working at the deli and working with that, with money and change on a daily basis, where people are putting change in a bucket and you keep the change in a bucket and then you turn in the entire bucket of change all at one time. You'd be surprised how much money how much of that adds up really fast. And now when you've got the entire country doing that, because more people are choosing to use cards and less people are choosing to use cash, and it's just that it's not getting circulated. The cash form of money and the coins just aren't being circulated, so there's not as much to go around. Right.
I hate cash so much. I hate it at the bike shop. I hated it. I touched greasy rags and bikes all day long. There was nothing worse than touching dollars or underboob money or wherever you want to put it in your sock. No, I don't like it at all. So I love credit. I don't love the control behind the credit, but I just want to be able to swipe and be done. I don't want you giving me pennies back. I hate change. I hate it all. It's just gross and disgusting.
I just thought that was interesting. Just when you were talking about, the food apps making money, I thought about, oh yeah, the credit card companies are rolling in it right now too.
Yeah. And when I was on the food app, I never got paid cash. Not once. Not once did I get paid cash. Nobody cash tipped me. Yeah. Everything was just all done electronic. I give them their food and I'd stand there for a microsecond of do a bellhop. Am I getting tipped? Am I leaving? I don't know how this works. I've never worked in a tipped environment before.
Right.
And then I would just leave. And then a week later it would show up. I'm like, man, curse that lady and her chicken nuggets that didn't give me a tip. And then 7 days later you'd see a tip. And you're like, oh, okay, that's not so bad. Yeah, so RIP coins. It's all credits, just like in Star Wars.
It's all credits.
It's credits, yes. Oh, I have all this list of stuff to talk about, but I don't care about half of this. So, Jess, ask me why I'm so tired this morning.
Why are you so tired this morning,
Because I stayed up really late last night watching Alexander Hamilton, Hamilton, blah, 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 Hamilton, Hamilton. It's all talk about Hamilton. It's all Hamilton. And I'm like, all right. So obviously these guys know, the whole world knows that Hamilton's come to Disney Plus. I had no idea what it was about or anything. Like I've said before, the only thing that I know that was Hamilton Pig from Tiny Toon Adventures. But I'm pretty sure the play wasn't about it. And I did know it was a play, but I didn't know what was going on it.
Is that really all you knew going into that?
I didn't think hard enough because I'm just not a big history buff. Like I didn't do well in school. I never like to talk about this. I didn't do well in school.
Nobody's going to pick on. I'm not going to pick on you for it.
I didn't do well in school, so I didn't pay attention to this stuff. It didn't captivate me. I didn't do well in this stuff, so I didn't know. The only thing I knew about Alexander Hamilton was the Got Milk commercial, where the guy had that bullet from the shooting, and he said "Iron Burn," and he ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and he was trying to answer the question on the radio for $1 million of who shot Alexander Hamilton, and he ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but didn't have any milk to wash it down with to answer the question. He lost out. So that's the only thing that I knew about it. So here it comes to Disney Plus after it's been on Broadway. I did a little bit of research. It's been on Broadway for a handful of years.
Yeah.
I forgot the guy's name who played Hamilton, but he adapted it and wrote all the music and stuff for it. I guess it was already a book, and he took it and made it into a play.
Yeah.
And so it was on Disney Plus. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes long. And somehow Jess and I decided last night we were going to start it at what time? I think I started at almost 11.
We started it at 10:30.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Maybe it was probably closer to there. I didn't know the runtime until I just looked down at the phone and all it said was 2 hours and 40 minutes. I'm like, are you going for it? Because if you're not gonna watch it all, I'm not gonna watch it all. So I got through all of it.
Yeah, we did too.
Yeah, you guys got through all of it too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that makes me sound so naive in this. Like, I was confused in the beginning. I didn't know what was going on. There's like 2 acts. Do you call it 2 acts or there's intermission? So
it's intermission.
Yeah, there was intermission. So everything before the intermission, I was just like, it was so fast and there were so many words. They said so many words in 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Did.
Wow.
Yeah, they did.
But they came out with a bang and it was kind of rapish, hip hopish, like speaky. It was very speaky. Yeah. So you have to like, I'm like watching their lips so I'm not missing a word because most people know the story, I guess. I guess this is a popular story. So it's like, oh, look, like, let's watch this unfold. Me, I'm like learning. I learned about history. I learned history from watching this show. So I was a little confused in the beginning and it was insanely aggressive in the beginning. And I remember going like, I don't like this. I'm not happy. Like it's too overstimulating. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. By the second act, or like the intermission, it slowed down so much, and I love the whole back half of that movie. I could follow it better, and that's what it was. It's me. Like, I could follow it better. I knew what was going on. I understood the story and stuff like that. And we'll talk about my opinions of what I think about the movie in a minute. Here's what I loved. I'm an entertainer. I do things with my hands. I try to make things. I sell the frowny face or whatever on Dantix. Watching them on stage sell was amazing. The lights and the music and the people on cue. And there was like a roundabout, like a Susan-y spinning thing in the middle where everybody was spinning around. So it was introducing the scenes by having the scenes spin out a little bit and how gracefully they were changing the scenes. That was awesome. I did not see them miss a beat or flub a word or anything. It was so impressive and it looked so clean. It looked so dang clean.
It really did.
Did you see their microphones and their hairlines?
Yes.
Hanging off the peaks of all they had their, and I'm like, how does that work? But off the like widow's peak, we'll call it, of everybody's hair on their microphones. That was the coolest. So I loved everything about the production value of plays. I went and saw Cats once and I loved it. I don't care what happened in Cats. I loved the spectacle.
Right.
And this show had spectacle. It did have spectacle. The history, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan on history, but it was insanely entertaining.
It was. It was. I loved it.
Did you? Yeah, you tell me. I just keep talking. You go.
I loved it. I loved everything about it. But one of my favorite musicals ever is 1776.
Oh yeah.
Which is it's a history musical. It's a musical about history, and it's a musical about the Declaration of Independence and John Adams and George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and all these people and I don't even know when it came out. Maybe in the 70s. I can't tell you how many times I've watched it.
Really?
It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite musicals. I don't know why, but it is. Between that and Sweeney Todd are probably my top 2 favorite musicals. But 1776, I could watch. Oh, I told Jamie that last night. I'm like, I'm gonna end up watching it tomorrow. I have a copy of it. I'm gonna end up watching it. After watching that, that's all I wanted to do. I'm like, I could stay up all night and watch this movie now.
You got so mad at me. You're like, and Sweeney Todd. I'm like, oh, the Johnny Depp movie. What about it? And I didn't know it was a musical. I've never seen musicals. Musicals are not on this dude's radar at all. I went and saw Cats live, and I loved it. So I'm down for musicals now, right? I'm down. But I never got back to watch another one. I never did. I never did at all. So I don't know. I wanted to see the Book of Mormon. Everybody thought that was really funny and hilarious. So I didn't want to see that. But this is only really, other than going to the theater to see Cats, I've never seen a musical before. So this was my second one that I've ever watched.
That's so crazy to me.
It was cool. It was cool, though. I mean, I enjoyed it. Like I said, once you start the movie, you're like, wow, I have to deal with 2 hours and 40 minutes of this. But then it hits some sort of stride. I don't know what happens. Right before the intermission, they slow it down and it hits a stride. And then the back half of the movie went by super quick.
I loved I literally loved the entire thing. The whole time. I could watch it again.
I was just mad at Hamilton. I was mad at him at the end. I don't want to spoil it. See, is this spoiling the movie?
I mean, anybody that knows history, it is not spoiling the movie, but not everybody knows it.
Let's see. We'll see if I have to take this part out or not. Okay, I'll be quiet for a second so I have an editing point. If you're gonna bring a gun to a gunfight, it's gonna be a gunfight. What are you doing?
Yeah, but see, the world was different back then.
No, what are you doing?
No, see, because that's today's mentality. You know, people used to live by codes and ethics and honor, and
right,
they
and
just
one of them was a
don't
gunfight,
anymore.
and then now I have to hold up the codes and ethics of a gunfight.
No, it's not the same as it is today. It's just not.
Right. But yeah, I recommend watching it on Disney Plus.
Oh, 100%.
Yes,
definitely watch it.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that if you get a free trial of Disney Plus, it's not available.
It's not available for the free trial. I think there's quite a few things right now that aren't available for the free trial. But realistically, it's like $7 for a month. You can't go to the movies for less than $7. You can't go to the movies right now at all. So
it's definitely worth it. They burn some calories. Holy cow!
Yeah.
They never stopped talking. There was very rarely there was a silent spot. They were singing and rapping and dancing and moving and doing things on cue. It was crazy.
I told Jamie, I'm like, this would be. I understand why it was sold out every single time that it was in. That it was on Broadway because it would be amazing to see it live. I mean,
yes, I did enjoy Cats Live. I really did. And it was only put on by like the semi-pro team out here of like people, like the performers. But it was awesome live.
That's what, when I saw, I mean, because I've seen the Johnny Depp version of Sweeney Todd as well. But they did Sweeney Todd here locally at our local theater, which our local theater is a combination of like semi-professional actors plus local actors. So they like have a core cast, which is like people that have been doing this for a lot longer, and they travel around from theater to theater and act in theaters, and they're kind of considered more of like a professional theater cast.
Yes, that's how I was.
And then again, there's like the local people as well. And when they did Sweeney Todd here, I saw it 4 times. Like anybody that I could get to go with me, I'm like, let's go see it again.
Okay, so Sweeney Todd wasn't invented with Johnny Depp. It was before that.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
Yes.
I was out playing hockey and doing stuff growing up. I wasn't going to the theater to see that. But yes, as somebody who's me, Dan, I do recommend it. Don't be overwhelmed by how out of control it is in the beginning, because it does settle down.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and you know what? If you miss it, watch it again. You could totally take 3 hours to watch it again.
Right? How do they cast for this stuff, though? Because everybody was like the perfect person, like, to play the part.
Know.
And the dude who played Hamilton, that guy is just so talented. He has so many different voices and so much words he had to memorize and everything. But I guess when you write it or whatever, or when that's your jam, then you do it. And I was starting to look into it, and they have understudies, so there's like another one of him.
Yes, yeah, just in case.
And it went on tour, so then like there was other Hamiltons. But I only want to see this cast now because that's what I'm used to.
Have you never seen The Producers?
No, is that the one?
Oh,
is that the one with? No, it's not. I don't know. That was the Birdcage. No, I don't think I've seen The Producers. Is that another?
It's so good. That's another musical that you should watch.
No,
it's so good.
I haven't seen Newsies, and I haven't seen.
Oh, Newsies is great. Newsies is in my top 5 as well. It's probably like Sweeney Todd, Newsies, The Producers.
Like I said, I'd go see Hedwig and the Angry Inch. I think Neil Patrick Harris was doing that on Broadway for a while. I'd go see that. I'd go see that one. That sounds fun. But no, it just wasn't in my wheelhouse. I never had anything against them. It just never was a time where I sat down any time in my life. I mean, you know me, and just being like, you know what we should do? We should watch like old cop rock, where there was just that was a musical, a sitcom, or like that was on television on primetime.
Right.
Back in the 80s. So I know, I never did. But yeah, please go watch Hamilton because it was really cool. It's different.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It does. It just makes me want to watch. Like I said, I just want to watch 1776.
Yeah. See, and for me, I don't.
1776 is different though because it's not like Hamilton. It's music and singing the entire 2 hours and 40 minutes. 1776 is more traditional musical style, where it's like there's a song and then there's movie, or talking, and then there's a song and then there's dialogue, and then there's a song and then there's dialogue. So it's like you're not subjected to nothing but singing and fast motion and all that stuff for that long. It's more like a traditional musical.
Okay, that makes sense. This one was a roller coaster, and it was a 2 hour and 40-minute movie that should have been 5 hours. Yeah. And they just crammed it all in there.
Yeah, they really did.
What happens when I get the soundtrack? Because the soundtrack's really popular for this movie. Is it just the whole movie pretty much? Because since all I did was sing?
I don't know.
I don't think any of the words were not song.
None of the words were not song. The entire movie, the entire play is song. So I don't actually know the answer to that.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it. I was just super stoked about how the microphones were hanging off the top of their head. And once you guys see it, you guys will never be able to unsee it. And all you'll do is look around and wonder why some people have those mics and some people have the side mics.
I think the other thing that like Jamie and I noticed at the end of it, which I thought was really cool, was that they really don't change the set at all.
No, it's sneaky.
Yeah, it's so, like, I paid attention to that a lot, where I was like, nothing in the background changed. It's all the lighting, and they bring in a few props, and then they take out the props, and then, of course, like you said, the spinning floor and stuff like that, but it's never different. It's the same backdrop the whole time, which I thought was really cool. There's a few moving pieces, but it's still always the same.
Yeah, they did a good job on that. They did a good job, and it'd get really dark for a second while they ran out there and put up lights and did other stuff. And so that stuff, even just doing that, even the person that had to run the lights for the whole thing, and I was watching the light person, and I was like, man, this is on point. Like, you can't miss a beat. It all has to come together, otherwise it doesn't work, and then you break that illusion. So, just the show itself is like the least of it. It's all the production that goes into it. And that's, even in the beginning when I was like, this is not for me right now, I was just amazed by the production value on it. And then, obviously it hooked me.
Right.
Yeah, it makes me want to be in a play. I could do it. I'm going to sing... Alexander Hamilton. Did that sound good? Tell me he was in the room. He was in the room with me.
It was great. Mm-hmm. It was great.
I also had this article that you sent me about Michigan getting this dust devil.
Oh yeah.
Where was that at?
See,
was it in Milo?
We get in Mayo.
Mayo?
Yeah. See, we get them too.
Yeah, we get them.
We haven't had rain. We haven't had rain. I think I was telling you this before we started podcasting. Like 2 days after you left, we had rain, and it has not rained since then. So it's super dry here, which we're not used to. And apparently there was a dust devil that ripped through Mayo.
Yeah, I saw a picture of it. It was impressive. We get these here on the regular. Like, I'll just be driving up the street, and because you know how like we have the huge open fields out here, and they just come up. They just come up and they don't pick you up off the ground or anything. But, they could. They'll take your trampoline out the backyard.
Right.
And it's just crazy. If you're not standing within that 20 by 20 foot square, you're fine. But in that 20 by 20 foot square, it's pretty, it's just a big brown dust wind thing. And it'll take your trapper keeper out your hand and throw it around and stuff like that. Because they would come to the playground. Oh, yeah. When I was like in 6th grade, I remember one huge one came to the playground. And we're like, run! And we're trying to run from it. And when it hits you, you just hold on and cover your eyes because it gets all dusty in your face.
I was going to say, close your eyes, don't breathe in.
It's not going to pick you up and throw you. But, I mean, they tunnel up to the top. But yours was cute. Yours was all, like, bluish and white. Mine are brown from the dirt. Do you see them?
I haven't seen, like... I mean, I see, like, little mini tiny things, but not, like, what was in the picture. It's more common for us to see a water spout than it is for us to see an actual, like,
Have you seen one of those out on the lake there?
I have seen a water spout before.
Oh, see, that's cool. I've never seen a water spout.
That's a little bit more common here than dust devils.
Oh, okay, yeah, no. We get the dust devils all over. I mean, sometimes you'll be driving up the freeway and you'll be able to see for a bunch of miles every way, and you'll see them everywhere, 3-4 of them. We do get those, so when you showed me that, I was excited because I was like, oh my gosh, like, we do share some of the same weather.
Right?
Oh my gosh. All right, let's get out of here. Do you have anything else to say before we get out of here, Jess?
Should I check my TikTok numbers?
Yeah, why not? Let's see if anything changed between the time that we talked about how much Tock clout you have to now.
It was 517,000 when we started. Hold on, I have to put the right
I'll talk
pin
while you're doing
code
that.
in.
It's over 950,000 subs on your YouTube page, so you're already halfway to 1 million on there, and it's only month 7, so that's good too. And that's still ramping up.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so my TikTok went from 517,000 to 519.3 in an hour.
Wow, that is crazy. That's so many human beings.
And the video I put up of Kira now has over 730,000 views instead of 600,000 views.
Wow,
Holy cow.
Is that the one last night when you told me it had 100?
Yeah.
It had 100,000 views last night?
Yeah.
Insane. Good job. Way to go, Jess. Good job. You're doing it. You were excelling in your field. You would get a gold star and an A++++++.
I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Even your YouTube videos you were talking about. You guys want to be popular on YouTube? Get a husky, get a watermelon, and get a pool. That's the kit. That's your new. But
kit. The reality of that is, please, for the love of God, don't do any of that.
Well, come on. We all know nobody listens to me.
I saw somebody the other day getting rid of a husky, and I'm like, why did you get it in the first place? And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I really hope that wasn't my fault.
Right, yeah, way to go, Jess. Yes, because there is a spike in husky ownership. 95% of the dogs that I see walking out here are huskies, and I don't know, I guess you could blame Game of Thrones, but those direwolves did not look like huskies, but everybody's got that husky game.
Yeah.
I blame Cuba Gooding Jr. for his Snow Dogs movie.
There you go.
Is that what the name of that movie was? I think it was Snow Dogs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep,
Okay. I've run out of stuff to say. Let's end this.
Okay.
That'll do it for this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. Listen to us every Wednesday on your favorite music app. Interact with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon at CC Mouse Podcast. Rep our merch at CC Mouse Podcast. Just shop, and we'll see you guys next week. Same mouse time, same mouse podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I don't even know.
Hey, guess what?
Oh, please tell me.
We did a thing!
Yes! We did a thing. Another thing. I don't even know what episode we're on. 78. Oh my gosh, we're going to get to 100 soon.
Oh my gosh. We're going to have to celebrate.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll have to fly out here for episode 100.
Why don't you fly out here?
No.
All right, guys. See you guys next week.
Bye!